The games are coming thick and fast for Nuno as he takes on Newcastle away from home after only 3 training sessions. But can he produce a Christmas miracle? Welcome to your preview. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are well and enjoying the holidays, and hopefully Nuno has his mind firmly set on St. James's Park tomorrow. Welcome to your preview for Newcastle United versus Nottingham Forest. In today's video, we'll talk you through all the latest team news on both camps. We'll talk you through the predicted Forest lineup, the Newcastle lineup as they are still heavily injury struck, and of course, the all-important bit, who is going to win and how. Please don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new, and let's jump into this. I want to start by saying a couple of things. There are some key battles going to happen tomorrow at St. James's Park, and one of them, of course, being the return of Chris Wood to home soil. I'm sure the Newcastle fans are quaking in their boots. But so they should be, because Wood is on fire-ish. I still think, guys, and, you know, spoiler alert, I still think there's a chance. There's a chance. Lloyd Christmas style with Mary Swanson, you're telling me there's a chance, and there is. Newcastle have been brilliant at home, won 8 out of 9. I think the only game, if memory serves me right, is one they lost to Liverpool. When Liverpool were down to 10 men, Newcastle were 1-0 up, and they still ended up losing. Their record away from home has been atrocious, though. 1 win in 9. Very similar to Nottingham Forest. But does the form book go out the window once Chris Wood returns? Let's get into this, and let's start with my predicted Forest lineup. Okay, so I have a very strong feeling, apart from my voice is still gone, that Nuno is going to go for a formation of 3-5-2 in this game. I just feel that it's set up for this. Now, if he was to stick to the 4-2-3-1, I'd be more than happy because he's showing some real kahunas. But let's just start filling in the gaps on how I think this is going to go. Firstly, it's time Turner stops playing, man. It's got to be Vlachodimos in goal. Look, I've always said both of them haven't impressed me that much, but Vlachodimos hasn't really made a mistake yet. Turner, although he's made mistakes, that's not my biggest gripe with him. It's how slow he is to release the ball and just allows the opposition to get back into their shape really quickly and really easily. Now, I think we are going to see a back 3, but what we do know is that Bolly will be suspended for this one. Thanks again, Rob Jones. I hope you got a piece of coal today. So let's fill in what we can in terms of the back 3. Now, Murillo will probably still start. I think he'll be in the middle, and Niakate will be on the left. I think he may bring Worrell back in. I really hope that Felipe is fit. If we went with this 3, I think I'd be more comfortable, especially with Felipe's aerial dominance in the box. So I think it will be a back 3 of this. And then in terms of the wing backs, I still got a feeling he's going to experiment and want to have a look at a couple of players. Maybe Montiel could come in. But Nico Williams at right wing back, for me, is pretty good. So I would chuck him on there. And then on the left-hand side, it probably will be Tuffalo. Maybe he wants one last look at Tavares. We don't know. But I think that will be the back 3 with the wing backs. Now, what's going to happen is he's going to definitely go 3 in the middle, in my opinion. I think what we will see is definitely Mangala in there. And alongside him, look, if Sangare isn't fit, then he may go again with Yates, or he could go with Dominguez. I was surprised not to see Dominguez in the team, play, should I say. He was in the squad in our last match. But let's just say if Sangare's fit, I would go with Sangare there. And I would also play Morgan Gibbs-White. I mean, this is getting crowded a bit here. Let me just tuck Tuffalo and Williams back a bit. And you can see the whole point of this formation is to crowd the middle out. And then you're going to see Morgan Gibbs-White here in between the two of them, playing in that 8 role that he played so well against in our previous game against Bournemouth. And then I think what we're going to see is 2 up front. I think Origi and Wood will play up front. So if we just move these forwards just so they're not so disconnected, this for me is the team he's going to go with. I think Origi, he will feel was harshly treated because obviously he had to sub him off when Bolly got sent off. And this is a formation that Nuno uses quite regularly, the 3-5-2. And with Sangare and Mangala, or you could say Yates there and Mangala holding firm. So what will happen in the game is that Sangare and Mangala will just hold and block out that midfield. And Morgan Gibbs-White will get up and down that middle channel, creating space as well for Tuffalo to bomb up from one side, and then obviously Williams from the other as well. And that's where the width will come from. This middle will be completely blocked out. And Newcastle may struggle because they play a 4-3-3, which we'll get onto in a second. That's like Eddie Howe's, written in the stars formation. He barely does waver from that one. I think this is the team. Now, if there's a chance that Felipe isn't fit or he doesn't want to bring Worrell back into the fold, then we could see him stick with the 4-2-3-1, maybe going a 4-3-3 to put an extra body in midfield. And if he does that, I think we could see a similar lineup to the one we saw against Bournemouth, but obviously with Niakate coming in for Bolly, or maybe Felipe, who knows? There has been no injury update yet from Nuno. However, we have had the details from Newcastle, so we'll get into that in just a second. But I quite like the look of this team. Look, is Wood gonna do it? I don't know. We've seen these false dawns. I keep talking about him before. I want to give him the chance because he can work in a Nuno system. And if he's playing with Origi, who is actually quicker than people give him credit for, they could link up. Wood could be that holding man. And then the other benefit of going with this formation is in the second half, once you've knackered Newcastle out, because there's that red Garibaldi wall down the middle, you could bring on the likes of Alanga. You could bring on the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi. You could change the formation into a 3-4-3 if you wanted to at that stage. And that may be something he goes with, but then he would have to drop one of the middle players. So in the second half, potentially what you could see is Mangala get dropped, MGW and Sangare playing in the middle. Let's just say, I don't know, Origi comes off, and then you bring Alanga here out on the left, and then you bring in Callum Hudson-Odoi out on the right, and then you got yourself a nice 3-4-3 formation. And again, that looks quite good. I would expect that to happen maybe if we were chasing the game, take a body out of midfield, chuck an extra body up front. What do you guys think of this? Do you agree with this team or not? Let me know, as always, in the comments down below. All right, let's move on and talk about the Newcastle team. And they are heavily injury struck, but the team is still pretty good. So let's go through this. Now, this is the team they put out, I believe, against Luton. I think there will be changes from it. As you can see, it's always this 4-3-3. You've got, for me, their best player, Bruno Guimaraes. Fully rate him. What a string puller he is in the middle of that park, and the reason of a lot of their success. So I expect the midfield to probably stay the same. Miley's the new wonder kid that they've brought through their academy, I believe. He's come in with their injury-ridden season, and he's done quite well for them, scoring his first goal the other week. And in terms of the front three, I think we will see a change here. I think Wilson will be dropped, and I think they'll bring in Isaac in there. Now, is Isaac all that? He does tend to score goals. He scored against us last season, obviously with a penalty in the last second. But I think Gordon and Miggy will play up front alongside them. The other change I'm expecting to see would be Lascelles to come out and Shah to come back in. I believe he's fit, and partner up alongside Botman, leaving Livramento, who's been actually really good this season, at left back. And maybe, I think Trippier may be injured, so Crawford may come in at right back. We'll have to see. If not, Trippier will come in. Now, ideally, Trippier has been off form. And yes, he can take a wonderful free kick. Yes, he can deliver a peach of a cross. But he has been prone to a lot of mistakes lately. So we may see, maybe, that's somewhere where Forest can attack. And then, of course, Pope is out. So Dubravka will come in or continue to play for Newcastle. But what we do know about Newcastle is they're very rigid in their formation. It is most likely going to be a 4-3-3 with a couple of tweaks here and there, but this won't be too far off their starting lineup. Does this team scare you or not? Let me know in the comments down below. So how do I see this game going? Honestly, based on no logic, no nothing, I just feel Forest are going to win this. I just feel there's a bit of pressure ramping up on Newcastle. They've lost that winning way. I believe they've had, one win in their last 4 or 5 games, and that was against Fulham. And they're tired. That squad is, been spread really thin. And I could just see some kind of upset, especially if we go 3-5-2, block out the midfield, create width with our fullbacks. Maybe Chris Wood shines against his old club, can repay us some of that 19 million we gave to Newcastle. That would be the icing on the cake, to throw them back some change, to say thank you for Chris Wood. That would go down really, really well with me. And maybe you guys, I don't know. So what do I predict this scoreline is going to be? I think Forest are going to win this. I said it yesterday on Grumpy Old Reds. Go check the stream out if you haven't seen it already. I think Forest will win this and win it quite comfortably, 3-1. I think Newcastle will struggle to break us down. I don't expect to see a full low block, but I do expect to see counter-attacking football from Nuno on this one. And that's why I think the 3-5-2 will work perfectly for it. Who's going to score? I don't think Wood scores, but I think Origi will get his first Forest goal of the season. And maybe, I don't know, Morgan Gibbs-White can finally put one away from open play. That would be fantastic. So I'm sticking to my guns. I'm saying 3-1, but what I really want is 3-0. And maybe a little less delusion. Get your score predictions in down below. How do you see this one going? We'll be back tomorrow with the watch along. Remember, this is an early kickoff at 12:30. It's on Amazon Prime, and we've got a free 30-day trial for you guys. The link is in the description, so make sure you go grab that. You can cancel at any time, so that way you can definitely watch the Forest game for free if you want to. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you're new. We'll see you at about 12 for the watch along. Come on, you Reds.